What's going on, everyone? It's Abdallah here, and welcome to episode 2 of the Fire Emblem Heroes Podcast, where we discuss so many things in the Fire Emblem game for mobile devices, Google Play, iOS, all that. So, if you guys have not seen our previous video, go check it out. We talked about all the things that we wanted to see happen, discuss some changes to make the game even better. But today's topic is going to be a really good one because we got some brand new stuff fresh off the press. And of course, if you guys want to be introduced into the conversation, you can join in by using hashtag FEH Podcast on Twitter. At the very end of our live stream, we are going to take your suggestions and comments on screen. But nonetheless, I'm going to introduce you guys to Roman. Hey, Roman, what's happening, man?
Hi Abdallah, it's me Roman again. I'm a channel mod on the Discord server for this game, for Fire Emblem Heroes, and I also do a lot of work on the wiki. I curate the build pages, I work on the tier list, and once again, I'm here to discuss the changes with you. It's going to be really exciting. Hi.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff to talk about today. So our topics for today are the new banner, Radiant Dawn banner, right? Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn banner, some of those characters are in there. We got new units, we got quality of life updates, and of course we've got suggestions for everything. So let's jump on into it, and we'll review exactly what exactly was on board and released to us. If you guys have Google Play, you may have to manually update the game in order to get some of this stuff, or if you guys are on iOS, you may have to go to the App Store and manually update as well. So taking a look at it, there's a lot of things that we're going to be discussing. There's some new people from this World of Dawn preview. The Nintendo mobile YouTube site had a very cool trailer with a lot of cool new characters. So those of you guys that are fans of Radiant Dawn, you've got Micaiah, Sothe, you got Zelgius, you got a lot of good units. So we're going to go into those guys. We're going to discuss them. We're also going to talk about everything that happened in the brand new 2.1 update. So without further ado, let's jump into, I think we should talk about the update first. Let's get all the little stuff out of the way, then we could talk about all the characters. You down for that, Roman?
Sure, whatever you like. We can talk about the quality of life updates.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I guess one of the first things right over here is the upper limit for hero merit has been increased. And if you guys heard our last podcast, I was like, hey, let's get this thing to 999. Why are you holding us back? And then Roman kind of like reeled me in a bit and was like a little bit more realistic. And what did you say, 4,000 on the last one?
Yeah, so exactly. Let's just do, like, you wanted 9,999 actually, and I was like, well, let's take it a little bit slow and do 4,000 first, because by the time people are done grinding hero merit on all of their units until 4,000, we're gonna get more.
Yeah, and I like that. See, like, I respect that decision from Intelligent Systems, not giving us all the hero merit at one time, but like slowly kind of raising the limit over there. I mean, you can see earlier, like I had a whole bunch of units, and I'm sure if you guys take a look at your barracks, if you guys play this game a lot, you'll notice that a lot of characters have a lot of hero merit, but you can see now that even my base team over here, Dragon Emblem, is getting even more. So that's great. Good job, Intelligent Systems. Thank you so much for that. That was amazing. All right. So other quality of life new updates. Inherit restrictions are now displayed. So that's pretty cool. What do you think about that? Was that much needed?
Well, it's a quality of life update for people who are not as familiar with the game, to have a little bit more guidance in the in-game menus. Why not?
It's something small, like that would tell you if something's skill inheritable or not. Like what, if we go over to him and put you there, like what, is that not gonna work? Oh yeah, he's got a little favorite thing on there. Anyway, so it just kind of gives you a little bit more flavor text, sure. All right, so what else did we get? In this other update, we got some seals that you can create. In case you guys have missed out on certain seals, sacred seals, you can actually create them in the game. Some of them were Brash Assault, Savage Blow I'm looking at, Hone Speed, Close Defense, Guidance, Attack, Smoke. But those of you guys that missed out on Heavy Blade, I don't know. You think they're going to add Heavy Blade into the creation later on, Roman? What do you think?
It's not in it? Oh yeah, maybe eventually. I like this a lot. For the people who missed out on certain Tempest Trials, because it's been a while for some of these. And some of the seals like Close Defense and, well, Distant Death, but you already could forge that. Like you can make up for not being there and like starting later by paying a little bit more coins. Like other people don't have to pay the coins, but you pay a little bit more coins to create them. paying a little bit on that front, but on the other hand, you have the opportunity to forge them. I think that is really great for the people who have missed out.
Yeah, it makes the game a lot more accessible, and like every day there's going to be new players that come in they're going to try to catch up to the current people that have been playing since day one, and this ability to do that in the Sacred Seal Forge, that's awesome. So good on Intelligent Systems for that. Okay, here's another one, a new feature that lets you check the map before going into battle. That's pretty cool, right? What do you think about that one, Roman?
I mean, obviously that is very welcome. We could already do that in Arena Assault, but now we can also do it. People could already get a taste of that when they tried the new Squad Assault that came on like half a day ago, depending on where you are. And that was pretty enjoyable. Like you didn't have to check the wiki anymore, so less views for us. But you know, generally it's useful.
Right, that's pretty cool. So if you're going into Squad Assault, you don't necessarily have to look up a guide or anything like that to see what units are over there. You can see, okay, well, here's these characters. Okay, what kind of people am I going to bring to counter this person or to counter that person, or who can pretty much take care of all that? I think that's really great. And I didn't really think about it for Squad Assault until you mentioned it, honestly. I thought it was more along the lines for Training Tower. That's really cool that you can do that for everything now. So I'm very happy about that update. It's more, again, quality of life. That's going to be super cool for that. So now, what other things do we have?
Sorry, you can even see...
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, there's even a little icon for quests. So if you click on these, you can even see what quests are associated with that.
Yes, exactly.
Like
so they've also put that. So you can change your team, you can take a look at the maps, and then of course you can take a look at whatever quest. It'll jump you right over to the quest there. So that's also very, very cool. So moving on, what else did we get? Weapon Refinery. We got a couple new Weapon Refinery updates for some legendary weapons. Those of you guys that are fans of Sanaki, she's got something pretty cool. So if we go by rarity, we can go Sanaki, and I'll show you that she's got a brand new Cymbeline. That is, it kind of goes along with her lore. You want to elaborate on the lore behind Cymbeline and why this is good?
So Sanaki is the Empress of Banyan, which is like a really big theocratic country in Tellius, the game that she's from, Radiant Dawn or Path of Radiance. And when you recruit her, she comes in a chapter. She basically has her own squadron of flyers. She's very like, her personal guard is basically like very strong flying soldiers and stuff, and that you also recruit. So they gave her a skill that they gave Cymbeline an upgrade that kind of gives you some flavor. So she gets stronger when she's next to flyers, and she also makes them stronger when she's near them.
Yeah, that's really great. I think that Intelligent Systems is totally promoting like mixed movement based teams, especially with the new skills of defense tactic, attack tactic, all that stuff. So I don't know, if you have her and you have a couple flyers, put them together, you'll make a pretty decent team. Is she going to be better than like a full squad of goad flyers or hone flyers? It's arguable. What do you think, Roman? Do you feel that like this is like a really, really cool buff for her, or is it just kind of middle of the pack?
Going a little bit horizontal with these very creative upgrades, both for her and George. You have to actually explain that to people, because George's upgrade is a little bit two-stepped, and hers as well. Like the difference between the attack res +5 and the fact that she gives everything a drive. With her upgrade, with any upgrade you give her. Like this one that you're showing on screen is just for flyers, but you could also do any of the others, and it gives a drive to anyone, and that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, no doubt.
You have to gauge yourself when you build a team whether you want her to be more of a supporting role, or you still build her with a red blade tome.
Exactly. But it's cool that now you can build her multiple different ways, so she definitely got a pretty good buff. Okay, the other character for Weapon Refinery that did get a buff is George. Unfortunately, I don't have a 5-star George, so I'm going to show you guys a quick screen cap. What do we got here? I think I got a George screen cap. Yeah, here we go. This is a screen cap of Parthia and George. So with this one, you can see that he pretty much gets like a free death blow, right? Grants +6 attack during combat if foe uses bow, dagger, magic, or staff. And at the same time, if he takes any kind of magic, the first attack received by unit is reduced by 30%. So he's going to be a little bit more bulky on the magical defensive side and a little bit more offensive on the attack side. So what do you think about this? How does this change George as an archer?
A couple more options. If you're building him for Arena Assault and you want an additional unit to take Blade Tome Mages, then he's very cheap to build and will do his job. But if you're running, if you already have a player phase offensive George build with Brave Bow, then I would say that is still better than this refined. So I would not recommend using Dew for that. But if you want to use well, the weapon he comes with, and you want to play with a little bit more flavor with the way the unit was intended to be used, then sure, this is very nice upgrade. It's definitely better than Warding Blow 2. Like, it's great, and it also gives us precedent for, like we talked last time about how they've only upgraded 5-star exclusive units, but now George is the first one who comes at 4-star and has one of these.
Yeah, he's really good. Shout outs to the everyone on Reddit who screen capped all this stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of good screen caps on there that we're going to be using too. So anyway, let's move on. What other than Weapon Refinery? Let's take a look. Just going through our list over here, we got Parthia, we got Cymbeline, we got Hero Merit. Oh, there was another thing. Oh, so those of you guys that are familiar with Voting Gauntlet, right? Voting Gauntlet. I don't know if it's ever happened to you. Personally, it hasn't happened to me. But with Voting Gauntlet, if you really wanted to, I guess, not be so nice to the people on your friends list or people in general, you would equip your first character with no item so that you're pretty much handicapped in the Voting Gauntlet battles. So what they did right over here, it says starting with the next Voting Gauntlet, heroes without an equipped weapon skill will not appear as enemies or allies. They just won't be there. You can't like hinder people in Voting Gauntlet. So how do you feel about that? Has that ever happened to you?
I don't actually remember, because I use level 1 units and I get strong, like level 40 allies from my list, so I just auto battle through these. I think a lot of people do, but I've definitely seen this mentioned on multiple places that people get, or even, yeah, people I know that they get an ally, has no weapon, or a healer with no weapon, does absolutely nothing. They just lose because they have to use a level 40 unit because they don't have any other bonus units. So they are kind of in a heavy disadvantage. Like when the enemy color is just bad for them.
Yeah, I think
rough,
that
especially when it's bonus hour and you just can't win. It's really annoying.
I think that people are still going to try to sabotage the other teams by like what? Maybe equipping like iron weapons and 0 skills, like.
There's always a way.
There's always a way. And people are going to come up with it, but don't be that guy. You know what I mean? Don't be that guy that does that. All right, so that was really cool.
You can still you can still technically put a healer with like a really weak staff with no other skills. So this might not actually fix the issue for most people. But it's mitigated.
Yeah, people, like you said, man, people are gonna find a way to sabotage the other team because maybe they're very passionate about the Voting Gauntlet. I don't know, but I hope I don't get paired with those people. So anyway, we talked about that, several bug fixes regarding inheritance. So in case you guys are trying to inherit like a slaying bow or what is that, a slaying weapon, a guard bow, that whole shenanigans deal is like now fixed, so you can easily inherit that over. That's pretty cool.
Because there was a bug with if you try to inherit weapon. Oh, if you try to refine first and then inherit, then the menu would tell you that you didn't have the correct precursor because there was no guard bow non-plus, so you couldn't actually inherit the weapon at that point anymore. And that was annoying to a lot of people, and they have reported this bug. Finally, the fix has arrived. So now you can, like before this, you had to inherit like something like Assassin's Bow or the killer weapon first and then refine it. If you did the other one, it didn't work properly. So now that's finally fixed.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm sure that people got burnt already from, doing it wrong or like not being able to inherit it properly. I'm sure they got burnt by that, but
if you know about it, it's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. But on the first day where it's not a known thing, and you just happen to do it the way that it doesn't work, that was just really because it costs stones. It's highly annoying.
It's bad. All right, so that's pretty much everything that they changed. I mean, nothing really too crazy. It's not like they fixed the summoning pool or anything like that. I mean, it's... Oh, yeah, I guess trenches, right? Yeah, we didn't really talk about trenches. Let's talk about that.
All
okay,
right.
So there's going to be some new arena maps starting in the season that's on 116. Okay, sure. Some of the new maps include a new terrain type called trenches. All right, now this, it's kind of like trees, but like you can go through them but they can only move one space. Cavalry units can only move one space in them. So I guess Intelligent Systems is thinking, all right, well, how are we going to nerf the horses because we created a monster? I don't know. What's your take on this? Do you feel that it's really going to impact that much? Do you feel that if you're a ranged horse unit, it doesn't matter, you fire from the other side of it? Like, what's the deal?
I feel like so to elaborate. So these stretch spaces, all non-cavalry units are completely unaffected by them, unlike with trees. But cavalry can only move one space at a time on that space, and then from there, I guess, normally. So is affected at all, and I think on player-controlled teams, this might not it remains to be seen. Like, I think if you're ranged, if you're using ranged cavalry, you might still pull off your tactics. But it's probably going to make it easier to bait them on when they are on defense, and it's going to make the lives of a lot of players easier, because there have been a lot of concerns about the arena metagame, what's on defense so often.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to like completely nerf them, because you're going to be able to work around them, especially if you have that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so we talked about Sacred Seals. We talked about all these new weapon updates and everything like that. Yeah, I think we covered a majority of the 2.1 update. So now comes the meaty part, right? This is like the best part, and I'm super excited for it, because we get some pretty cool new banner characters, right? The World of Dawn, this is awesome. So it says starting tomorrow, as of recording this video, you're going to get 3 heroes from Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn: Micaiah, Soth, and Zelgius. So that's going to be interesting. Zelgius, all right, let's go into this. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a screen cap. Someone from, I believe, Reddit took a picture of it. Like, this is exactly the screen cap from the YouTube video. So we can discuss the unit itself, and then we can absolutely take a look at all of their skills and potential builds, and like, what are our first impressions of these characters? I'm very excited for them. If you guys are excited for Micaiah, Soth, or Zelgius, let me know in the comments which one you guys are most excited for, and let me know why. So here we go. Let's jump in. I'll zoom in a little bit more. So we got Micaiah over here. Micaiah is voiced by Veronica Taylor. You guys know her as Ash Ketchum from early seasons of Pokemon. So that's super cool, right? Hey, have you been waiting for Micaiah the whole time, Roman?
Not her in particular, but you could tell in the previous video that I did with you. I was already like, my first mention was that I want more. Like, you asked me if I wanted more Fates and Awakening characters. No, and I want more Radiant Dawn. I want more our older games, and now 3 days later, here we are.
So Roman's 2 for I don't know how many. You got 2 predictions pretty correct there, so that's awesome.
Pretty quickly, but I know some people who are really waiting a long time, like since launch, for Micaiah, and are going to go crazy pulling for her tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
Amassed for 600 orbs to pull her. Like,
I don't blame. I mean, okay, I wouldn't blame them for trying to get her. Let's zoom in over here at the skills learnable at 5 stars. Okay, so she's got Thani. I don't know how you'd even pronounce that. It gives you resistance +3, so an automatic +3 in resistance. It's effective against armored and cavalry foes. Are you crazy? Super effective against 2 types. That's so good. And not only that, but if they attack you, you get, what, damage reduced by 30%? How is that going to change the metagame, Roman? What's going to happen with that?
It's extremely useful for Arena Assault. For Arena, you might be a little bit careful against other units, because as we've talked before, the dragons got a huge buff. So like, fragile mages are like, if they don't kill in 1 hit, it can get really dangerous with Nino and other fragile ones. So we'll see, but this is definitely very useful, especially for Arena Assault. And she comes chock full with skills, right? There's Sacrifice, there's Distant Defense, Guard 3, Drive Attack. You can't inherit Sacrifice, but Distant Defense, Guard, and Drive Attack. She comes with a pretty much complete set for what she's doing.
Yeah, that's really good. So Guard is awesome. You can totally eliminate what, like Reinhardt, Quicken Pulse Moonbow. It's not going to work. Yeah. You've got Sacrifice converts penalties on target into bonuses, restores target's HP to the unit's current HP -1, and then the unit's HP is reduced by the amount restored. So pretty much sacrificing herself to give like
This is
almost like full health.
this
Like,
is
what is that?
very truthful to her original game, where she had same skill sacrifice. Um, and in this game, it's also a harsh command, and it's a little bit like reciprocal aid, but not quite the same thing. But yeah,
Right.
it's an interesting assist. Like in Arena, I would probably still run one of those positioning skills like assists, like the drawback or reposition. But this is definitely something that's nice.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And you touched base earlier on a distant defense, amazing A skill, very, very good on defensive. Guard 3 and drive attack, that's awesome. Even if you pull 2 of her, I mean, that's great fodder that you can give distant defense to someone or even drive attack to your arena core team. Or even guard. It's like beautiful skill fodder right here in case you don't want to merge.
I doubt she's going to be demoted to 4 stars, but and in the end we're going to end up with 2 blue mages that have drive attack too. The blue pool is really useful now for pulling skills that increase your arena score and are also useful, like dual rallies and things like that. It's full of that. It's really, really nice.
Absolutely. Now, what would you sub out for any builds? Like you're big on builds on the wiki page right now. So like, where do you kind of see her fitting? Like, would you go defensive? Like, how would you go with that?
No, I would build her because, well, if you want to specialize into one-shotting armors and cavalry, and also be relatively strong against infantry without having a special damage, then I would definitely focus into one-shot builds, meaning death blow, and the B is probably pretty flexible, so that's not that important. Maybe a breaker, but then you still have to be really careful because now even red dragons can be a threat to you. So you have to go full in on one shot.
Yeah, that's gonna be really good. I can't wait to see her. And I'm gonna be summoning for her because it's another excuse for me to get another Naui. So we're gonna go from there.
For me as well. But you can definitely go with a more defensive build if you, as you mentioned, if you want to tank Reinhardt's. Or other mages. That's definitely an option.
So yeah, there's going to be so many different ways, and I'm looking forward to seeing how all of you guys build her. If you guys have a build suggestion, let us know in the comments, or of course use the join the conversation hashtag FEH Podcast on Twitter. We're going to take a look at those a little bit later, so let us know your impressions. All right, so next character is Soth over here, looking cool. I remember him, little dagger unit. So let's take a look at his skills. Peshkats. Yeah, that's interesting. 14 might. After combat, if units attacked, inflicts attack, speed, defense, so all stats -4 on the target and foes within 2 spaces. So a huge debuff, just like the dagger units are. And then, of course, through their next actions, if you're within 2 spaces, you grant attack, speed, defense, +4. So all 4 plus stats to a unit and allies within 2 spaces. So that's like, it's a massive debuff. And it's like a buff at the same time to your teammates. What do you think about that? Is that going to be awesome or what?
So with Soth, I feel like we have to test him out how his skills exactly work, because if it's like with light breath that the buff only works for the same phase that you use it in, that's probably a little bit limiting. So you have to have if you're using it with blade tome mages, they have to be in vicinity and you have to do it in the same turn, and he's going to maybe have trouble killing on his own, so you need to use 2 units to kill 1 enemy, and that could get annoying. So this is like a problem daggers in general have in Arena. If you're focusing on debuffing, then you need to have more units to do the job of what you would have 1 unit do. But of course it can, if you build him up this heavy debuff, which is a little bit like similar to Dark Breath and also the buff at the same time. Of course, that's really, really useful. I would probably keep that weapon on him.
Yeah, I'm curious. As it says, you get that buff for 1 turn. So do you feel like if he's on enemy phase, like you're gonna get those buffs like through, or I don't know. Like you said, we're gonna need some testing on that.
if unit attack is a little bit we don't 100% rely on the text. That's why I'm saying we have to test it tomorrow to be
Right, yeah, the
absolutely sure
text,
how it works.
yeah. Flavor text over the years has grown even more. So let's hope that they clarify that even more.
But he also comes with Life and Death 3 and Spur Attack Speed, like both really useful skills. If he's ever demoted to 4-star, I kind of doubt it. But if he is, and we'll get that, that would be pretty nice. Although it is
Oh,
still
yeah.
the colorless pool.
That would be really awesome. Yeah, Life and Death 3, that's great. That's already like a 5-star locked skill. Spur, attack, and speed, that's also pretty decent. So yeah, I think he's going to be pretty good. Where do you see him comparing with you know, the top dagger units like New Year's Takumi or Jafar or something like that? Where do you see him kind of fitting in maybe?
I don't see Jafar that high. But regardless, Takumi has a style line of 34, 34, so that's a little bit hard to compete with, but I have confidence that with this weapon, it's just he's going to do his job pretty reliably. They all have daggers. Is that you have to go one shot with them because otherwise a lot of them are too fragile to take the return hit, especially from dragons. So
that's right. It's a 1-round KO meta, man. You can't mess around with that.
Exactly.
All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at the elephant
Sorry.
in the room of the banner, right? Zelgius. Okay, so spoilers much? Like what? What's going on with that? I don't know, man. How do you feel?
Yeah,
How do you
Zelgius.
feel about him being added into the game?
Just is very interesting. He is a lot like the Black Knight that we already got, and they don't care about spoilers anymore. So here he is, and with a very so I don't know. We know the skills. So he has the same sword. So he has this encounter built in, right? He has Black
Right.
Luna, which is ridiculous if he fires it off. He comes with Fierce Stance, which is Warp Powder, and he also comes with Panic. But he has four unique, no, not unique ones, but 4 skills that are all really good. And Warp Powder is going to reinforce the one shot because you don't want him next to you.
Yeah, he's gonna be insane. He's like people are saying he's like a power crept version of himself, right? Like
That's almost automatically true because he can be merged, right? If he's on a banner, and he can also have boons. That is something that I don't have.
that's gonna be so insane. So it's like almost like Intelligent Systems is you know, putting this out there for people who want to spend money and just like completely dominate the arena with their really high base stat armors and merges, man. Imagine getting like a plus attack version of this guy, merge plus 10. Are you crazy? You just like instantly win Fire Emblem Heroes. You just win. There's no
Well, the Black Knight used to he's a strong unit, but you didn't see him in the arena in really high score ranges because he couldn't be merged. But
Right.
you will see Zelgius, and he will run a bold fighter with Black Luna, and you have to really check your blue units if they can actually tank that. And I have some doubts, and I made Abdallah check as well. But you know, it's so you can also probably use them offensively with armor marge and an offensive build. I mean, if he's anyway similar to his other form,
It's gonna be
he
insane.
will-
Just
he
like
will
you said,
dominate.
man. Just like you said, like the merges are just gonna make him so outstanding of a unit. So, I mean, do you feel that this banner is gonna be a bait banner? I mean, when people throw that term around like bait banner, like every banner is a bait banner if you think about it. So, like,
Okay, but
I feel.
I
yeah,
want to
feel
stress.
that
I want
it's
I
gonna
want
be
to
that way.
stress though, just like I said before, the anniversary is coming up. So if you want to pull, maybe be beneficial to you to wait a little bit until the banner almost runs out, because I mean, this could have saved you. This could have saved people grief before with the Ira or the Ike and Hero Fest situation. So like,
Yeah.
I think I recommend very often to just wait a little bit. The banner is still going to be here,
Right.
for some time. So just wait for what we're going to see with the anniversary. Maybe there's going to be some discounts or a better
That's
rate.
right. Save your
We'll see.
save your orbs, man. Save your orbs. I mean, it's like because a lot of people are free to play. By the way, a lot of people spend some money on the game. I mean, it's like it's emotional to be like one to spend all your orbs. Oh my gosh, I gotta get Zelgius. Like I gotta get Black Knight 2.0. I gotta get 10 of him so I can completely dominate the arena. But you don't know what the future holds. So Like you said, man, I'll second that absolutely. Like just like the New Year's banner. The New Year's banner is still around a little bit, so don't have to spend it all in one
It's
time.
around for the whole month.
That's right.
It's
You
around
got
for
you
the
got
whole
some
month,
time.
so it really is better to just wait a little bit and see what they have in store for us. But there definitely will be something, and it's not too long anymore.
Yeah, it's
And
I know that when it comes time for this banner, I'm absolutely going to be pulling on blues and reds, and that's it. And maybe I'll get an adult tiki out of it. I'll be happy with that. But I don't know. Pulling on colorless, like for Sothe, do you feel that people are going to do that? Like, how would you rank these characters?
I think people will pull for him just out of because they're fans of the game, because we're not getting a lot of older Fire Emblem banners. And he's among fans of that game relatively. Like people want to pull for him, I think. And the weapon Peshkat sounds pretty exciting and fun to use for non-arena modes especially. And yeah, so I think people will pull for him.
Right. So yeah, I'm totally gonna be pulling on blues from Makai. That'd be great. Like you said, like I won't use her in arena per se, but I'll definitely use her in arena assault as a counter to horses and armors. That's so crazy. But I'll have to find some more Deathblow fodder to give her. That would be really awesome. And then, like I said, it's crazy.
Probably for arena assault, I don't think you necessarily need it, because maybe even with something like Fury or even attack +3 is enough, because she's doing special damage. And if you know you're fighting, what is it, red armors or maybe even blue ones, you can, if you know that it's enough, you can beat them even without it, I guess, if you have the buffs for it.
That's a good suggestion too. So you don't necessarily have to make like a super OP build. You can make some budget builds. I'm a big fan of budget builds, by the way. Like, right?
Me too. Anyway. I always try to have them on the wiki. So exactly, if it's just for arena assault, like just don't strain yourself too much to put like Deathblow 3, which is not that easy to get out of the 4-star pool.
Right.
So yeah, don't strain yourself. It's not.
Don't strain yourself. There we go. But yeah, this Zelgius guy, he's gonna be insane. I'm gonna be like dreading when I go into tier 20 arena and I see like a merged version of him with all those skills that you were mentioning. Like we were doing the calcs earlier with my like +8 Naui. I'm like, how am I gonna tank this guy? Black Luna's just gonna proc and I'm gonna lose. Like what? You have to really work around him.
Yeah, like armors used to be the pushovers on defense, right? But now they have given us Bold Fighter and like to a certain extent Vengeful Fighter, and like you're fighting just with Bold Fighter, and you can't, like a lot of units can't tank her because it's just you're taking a Blade Tome hit, and she always doubles, and she has bulk, and like it's this, like the armors are really threatening on defense right now with the refined weapons, with this special now. It's like we're entering maybe a stage where like the bulky things like dragons and armors are maybe to a lot of players more dangerous to see than the cavalry now, especially with trenches.
Yeah, I can't imagine, man. Like I don't even know where to start. Like I just want one. I would be fine with one just to try them out and go from there and have like another one for arena assault. I think that would be pretty great. But yeah, when it comes down to it, like
on banners that were not very nice to you, right?
Right, just give me one, man. Give me one. But like pulling on red nowadays with the pool, dude, come on. Intelligence System hasn't fixed that red pool.
Yeah, so hopefully for the anniversary. I've seen people point out that they don't like pulling in the red pool. Even they did dislike that pool now even more than the colorless one. Because in the colorless one, well, the healers got a lot better, right? You can actually get really good fodder. Like even the Riz has a really nice fodder for your healer units.
That's
was really strong.
I still I want to pull in red because for one, I don't mind getting another like 4-star Crom for Aether fodder. That would be really awesome.
Yeah,
and then getting some 3-star adult tikis, man, count me in. I'll take a whole handful of them. I need like 10 more, so
you could also get like a seller for a 5-star Roy though. So
that's true. You can get a lot of 4-star. Yeah, you could pity break with Roy. Oh man, that's bad. I don't know, man.
We didn't mention Roy last time, but he's definitely he got power crept really severely, and a 5-star Roy is not
right. So I mean, speaking of the units that totally got power crept there, like where's the Binding Blade? We talked about it on the previous live stream. Like Binding Blade is garbage, but yet we get Sanaki and George over here, so it's something. It's a step in the right direction.
there's precedent now. Like Parthia was one of the worst unique weapons, right? Like it was really terrible. Like I think they really overestimated how good Warding Blow was at launch, so they gave him, because he's supposed to be the best sniper on his continent, and they gave him a bow like that. I don't know.
Oh, I do have a George. Yeah, like what was so special about Parthia at the beginning of the game? Nothing.
I don't think there was any time. No, because the primary, like very common units on defense were Robin. So
yeah, it's like, yeah, Parthia wasn't really that great. I don't know. George is pretty cool, but I mean, like you said earlier, if you already have like a fully built George with like Brave Bow plus Death Blow, I mean, are you necessarily going to switch that out for the new Parthia?
Yeah, basically, if you fed your George a Klein, then you don't need this.
Then you don't need it. Man, I'm saving this Klein right here. I don't know. I gotta save the 20k feathers. Klein is just so rare for me. I don't really pull on colorless, but if you do have a Klein,
I
man.
have never seen a Klein in my.
You have never seen a Klein?
Doesn't exist to me.
Oh, that's so bad. I think I got maybe like 3 or 4 Kleins in my entire time of pulling colorless, but if you guys have Klein, don't send him home. Oh my gosh, you need to upgrade him to 5-star and then give all that good stuff to everyone. He's like the best in skill fodder, man.
To be fair, I rarely pull colors. Like I've pulled my first Riz. Like I had the 1 and 2 stars Riz, but I pulled my first 3-star Riz only like a month ago. People report that they pull them all the time. Like, oh yeah, now I have my first pulled one.
I used to send that guy home because I was tired of looking at his face, but now I stopped sending my units home, so...
I also got my first Bios about 2 weeks ago.
Right, yeah. Why don't you tell everyone about the era story of yours?
I'm sorry, what?
Your era story with the Eldigans?
Right. So yeah, there was a lot of people were not very satisfied when the Tempest Trial banner came out with Ira and Eldigan on it, both on red, and there was no prior announcement on that. And I'm not, in hindsight, I'm not sure why I wanted to pull her, because like it's better to merge 3 and 4 stars for Arena Core. But I looked at her and I'm a fan of that game.
Right.
I kind of want at least one copy of her, and I pulled red. And in about 200 orbs, I got 0 Iras, but I got about 8 Eldigans. So now it got to the point where I used one of them for Fury Father. At that point, I didn't know my destiny that I would almost +10 him. So and another, there was another banner after that, but it was also bonus. Pulled him on my free pull. Like he loves coming to me.
It's insane. I don't know. Like, do you? Like, I've heard that other gacha games have like some sort of hidden stats where some units are... Have you heard about that before? Where some units are more common in other people's games than others? And I hope that's not the case with this game. That would be terrible.
That actually did happen, and it was highly controversial. I know that about at least 2 games or 3. That they alter the rates without announcing it, like they're with hidden stats.
Yeah.
And particularly to make people who pay a lot of money, right? So to decrease their rate, so they pay even more. And that was, very not nice.
Yeah, I remember Pokemon Go did something like that. Like their first update, they decreased the rates and everything like that. And that's when I honestly stopped playing that game. But I hope that nothing like that is in this Fire Emblem game, I swear. All right, so we're at like 40 minutes up right now. Do you guys want to jump into the chat? We can go into the chat right now and see what you guys have to say. I like pulling that up. I also like taking a look at Twitter. Yeah, let's hear from you guys. What do you guys think of the new banner? Do you guys feel that this new update is pretty great? Would you guys like to have seen more? Like, Roman, what do you feel was missing from this update that would be reasonable to ask for? Like, we keep on talking about some crazy things like, oh yeah, fix the pool, give us a Xander Camus rerun. Like, what do you feel would be reasonable to ask for it maybe on the next light update?
I think well, this kind of came out of nowhere, and I didn't have any expectations for it. Like, I thought the next update would be for the anniversary, right? I thought it would be like a really big, like I don't know, but that's pretty nice. So I can't really say that I'm disappointed and expected more because I didn't expect anything. It was a nice surprise. For me, it was at about 2 in the morning when this came out, and I had, wow, I have to play Squad Assault now. I can now have 4,000 HM. So this was really, really positive, because on our video we had a lot of concerns, and now they're finally giving us more content to play. But on the point of content, right now, of course, we're very excited. There's going to be a new story chapter, but I think the core problem we've pointed out before is not really fixed yet. It's not. We're going to get a story chapter, and we're going to probably finish that in maybe 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour at most. And you pull the units, you build your units, you have more arena assault things to work with. The people who invest a lot, they get their 11 Zelgises and merge them, and that's the content for the next week, and maybe there will be more. But there is still no, you know what I mean. There's still no grindable mode. It's a story update. It's more of what we already got. But the core issue, that there is nothing really rewardable that's grinding.
Like I learned from the Nintendo Direct earlier today, you just gotta go in with like your hopes like really, really low, and you can't go in with like super high expectations, because like you said earlier, the anniversary event, we know it's inevitable. It's right around the corner. There's got to be something super awesome that happens during it. A lot of people are talking about Hero Fest. A lot of people are talking about them maybe fixing the summoning pool. I don't know, but like you can't go in with super high expectations, or else your dreams are just gonna get crushed and you'll get upset about it. So.
Yeah,
it's rough.
I want it to be good, like you. I want this game to really have longevity. I want it to be enjoyable for a long time. I want that fans of both older and newer generations of Fire Emblem games are satisfied, because even if you're a fan of Awakening or Fates, there's still a lot of surprisingly popular units that are missing, like Kaze or Rinka or Sumia. Like there is still a lot of gaps in the lineup, and I hope that it stays around for a long time, and it's going to get funded. And I want them to fix the pool, and I want there to be grindable modes. I want more things, but it's like I didn't have any expectations for this update, so I am satisfied, but I'm really curious how to address the core issues. But
I
yeah,
agree.
I don't.
Well, let's take it to Twitter really quick. Take a look at Twitter right now. We've got Ashley that says hashtag FEH Podcast. You guys can absolutely tweet right now. I'm looking up that hashtag right now. She says, I'm hoping in the future they decide to change the free daily character quests in special maps, since we've beaten all those maps since the first week of the game with no new ones. Would be nice for a new refresh or new free daily characters. I think we touched base on that before, didn't we? We talked about that in the last podcast.
We mentioned in the previous podcast that we would really like them to address the hero rotation that they have not changed since launch. And I get where they're coming from, because these units that you get there, they're like nice skill fodder. There's some really nice units in there, like free Donald, free Tsubaki, right? And they also have these units. I'm not sure how many people are aware of this, but these rotational heroes are also regularly bonus heroes for the arena. I remember that Abdallah didn't notice that when I told him that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool though. Like if you were playing from the beginning of the game and you focused on, okay, well here's Sophia, for example, right? And you made her like plus 10, like you'd be dominating right now. It's crazy. If you have even a 4-star plus 10 Sophia, right? Some people do that. In addition to having the Asker trio, like in some weeks you can pull out your 4-star plus 10 Sophia or your Tsubaki for your flyer team. You can have a full flyer team with the bonus turn without needing to pull every new banner. And that is really, like, if you notice these patterns, and we have lists for that on the wiki, we have the rotational arena bonus that you can very easily predict what's going to be bonus at what time. Yeah, it's crazy. Heroes. And I mean, that's like, it's taking your arena game to the next level. And like, I honestly, like the first maybe 75% of me playing this game, I didn't really care too much about arena, but like more recently started looking into it, and it's really fun once you take a look at all the little numbers, game, the merges, all that stuff. So yeah, that's a good suggestion. I'm hoping that they do kind of change that out a little bit in the future. But yeah, thanks for tweeting that.
they would like. I'm really curious where this is going to go with the arena bonus list. Like, is there always going to be a legendary hero on there? Because right now they're not doing that, and I'm kind of wondering why they're not doing that. Like, why is Gontra not already bonus this or last week? Like, you didn't need her, and you also had the New Year's units, but it's like
I was wondering about that too. All right, so here's a good one. This one's from Chris. He says, a random little tidbit. Micaiah's voice is voiced by English Ash, Veronica Taylor. But Japanese Mystery Man is voiced by Japanese James. More Poke voices. Japanese Mystery Man?
That's interesting.
That is interesting. Dude, a lot of voice actors. That's really cool. Here's one from Thaleb Fennec, at Thaleb Fennec. He says, are you scared they'll make anti-dragon units or skills? Bye-bye, Lil Chicken. I don't know about that. Like, I'm honestly scared that they are going to release a green dragon because, as you guys know, at the time of recording, there's only one green breath user, and that's Faye. So I have a feeling that they're going to release another green dragon. There's a couple candidates out there that could easily fill into that role, but I still have a feeling that they're going to release one. And all this time and effort that I put into making this Lil Chicken like as best as I possibly can, most expensive build for my arena core, I have a feeling that she's going to be power crapped. What do you think? What do you think on that? Green dragons.
I don't think you and other people should be concerned about this, because by that point you're going to have a +8, +10 Fae, and this new unit, it's unlikely that it will drop to 4 stars, right? So you don't have to really care that much that there is a 5-star exclusive unit that power creeps your already built up unit, and they will maybe introduce other tools that you can use to make old units better, like they already have with the refines. So there's a lot of discussion about this, like with Athena being strictly worse than Mia now, but it doesn't really, if you already have like a really high invested unit like that, you don't need to pull for like the 5-star Mia all the time. Don't strain yourself. Bottom line, don't strain yourself.
Yeah, anti-dragon units. See, one of the reasons why I love making Dragon Emblem my core is that there's no Dragon Breaker or Breath Breaker skills. So that's pretty awesome.
It's kind of like a blind spot for like most of the skills they make don't affect dragons.
Right.
But I mean, there are already a couple of those weapons. Like, imagine if they introduce a refined for Falchion. We talked about this a little bit. If they make Alm better, or Lucina, if they have like some kind of upgrade for their Falchion weapons, or well, they already made Divine Naga, but that's not really enough.
Yeah, it's not enough. Divine Naga, it's all right. But no, that would be interesting. Like, if they buff up like the Valentine Falchion from Alm, if they buff that thing to like what, automatically do doubles, get like 50% less damage from Dragon Breaths, like
something like
I don't even know.
I've seen some fan-made hypothetical builds or upgrades for Marth as well. It's a little bit strange that Marth has not been featured on any banner since launch. Like, he was on the launch banner, but never since then, and has not really improved much, and they haven't really done much with him, even though he's very popular in Japan. So it would be nice if he got a good upgrade, and then dragons would have to shake in fear, maybe.
Yeah, I see a lot of people are talking about, here's another one from Ashley on the hashtag FEH podcast on Twitter. Says, I would wish they would update new characters that are animal shifters. Pan, Yarn, Keaton, Caden. Those units would be nice to have in the game. How do you feel about that? They would be pretty cool.
This was an opportunity as well with the current Radiant Dawn banner, because a lot of the story in Telios and Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn is about the relationship between like humans and those shapeshifters, which are in that game called Lagoose. So there's a lot of characters like that in that game, and there have been theories like maybe they would be colorless or something, but none of that stuff is in this game yet, so it's kind of curious how they're going to handle it. I'm viewing it in a very simple way, that they're probably going to be just like dragons and use stones.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
Like maybe some sort of like claw mark instead of like the little dragon thing, and they'll still have the same 3 colors. I don't know. I see some comments
that way, but we don't know. But it feels like a little bit of a missed opportunity for people, because we don't know when we're gonna have the next Radiant Dawn banner, or so. Yeah, it's
Right. Oh man. So taking a look at the comments, some of you guys were talking about the how strong like healers are now. Like I've seen a lot of Clarine running around. Elise is a monster. Jenny's a monster. Like any colorless staff user can totally be a monster in the game. So I guess the question that we're posing is, do you think that Intelligent Systems has created a monster like a colorless mage almost? And what's the future of that? Like, what's gonna happen with those characters? Like, dude, like, what is that? Pain plus, Gravity plus, with the Razzle Dazzle is insane, man.
it depends on what kind of arena team you're running, right? Like if you're running an enemy face team like me, you have a hard time. I have on some maps, for example, the lava map or some of the others where don't have a lot of room to maneuver, or well, the boat map is not as big of a problem, but there are a couple. So you don't have like they just corner you, and you can't counter them, and you can't bait them when they're just annoying. They use gravity, especially, also panic and other things, and pain, and it's annoying. And well, but if you're running a player face team, and I recommend this a lot too as well. If you're running a if you're running player phase flyers or a mixed team of like player phase and maybe someone like the Camilla I use, then you can just you have a lot of mobility. You can fight them during your own phase, and on your own phase they're pretty fragile, and you don't really like not being able to counter them. It's not as big of a problem. So if you're running a team like that, if you could consider mixing your team up a little bit more, so you have more player phase tools like brave weapons or things like that.
Yeah, I think they're pretty crazy.
So, yeah, they're really annoying, for me as well. I am aware, but I'm just pointing out that there are tools to combat this.
Right. And I mean, like you could say that for anything, right? There's just tools to combat like any threat if you think about it. But like, do we all have the tools? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, this is if your problem is an arena assault, you can just build up any, like for example, Shana or Katria or a lot of the other flyers, and you could just give them cheap brave weapons to handle this, and then you have a lot of freedom, and then on most maps you can take care of them. If your problem is an arena assault, there are definitely ways to go with a more player phase approach, and then it's relatively easy.
Absolutely. All right, let's here's another one. This one's from Bite on Twitter, Bite Some Pie. He says, what do you think about characters fusing or making unique children that hasn't been created before, like some old characters having children? What do you think about children?
If you just generate units for free, that goes against, the business model. They want you to pull new units.
That's right. What if there was an item that you'd somehow get, kind of like the blessing, somehow you get this crazy item, and then you can use that item to pair your S rank support so that they can have a 1-star child?
Well, I mean, that does sound interesting. I think it's unlikely because you can make a lot of free units that way.
Right.
And a lot of skill fodder, like maybe they come without skill fodder, but it sounds unlikely because this is still a gacha. So.
A guy can dream, though. I always thought about that. I'm like, okay, well, here we got Awakening and Fates pairings that you can pair together, and then you come out with a 1-star child, no skill inheritance, just blank like Mass Marth, and you could raise them up. I think that would be cool, but I kind of see where you're coming from, where like it won't happen because you're just making free units, but who knows? I don't know.
That would be a continuation of the idea that there should be more support conversations, like more of a flavor to characters supporting each other.
Right. Yeah, I thought so too. That was a good question. Like child units in the game, I want them. Like we got Rajat, we got a lot of children units already in the game, so maybe we'll just get some more.
Popular ones missing though, like where's Morgan?
That's true. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think they're waiting on Morgan and Kana, to simultaneously release, female and male at the same time.
Possibly. I did not expect them to release the Fates, like the selection they made, but you never know.
That's true. Well, I mean, like Rajat, sure, that makes sense. Siegbert and Shiro, yeah, that makes sense. Like, but who did you not Who did you not want to see on there out of those kids? Like Soleil?
No, I like Soleil. It's not that I didn't want to see them. It's just that I was a little bit surprised, and there were still like very popular ones missing that, and they showed up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I expected to be different ones.
Well, I mean, that's the beauty of Fire Emblem Heroes is that, you know, we got all of 2018 to look forward to, and you never know who's going to come on board. Aside from, like, what, 5 more flavors of Camilla, 3 more flavors of Lucina, probably, right?
I mean, you can never have enough flavors of Camilla.
You can never have enough flavors of Camilla. All right. There we go. You heard it here. All right. So this one's from Shining Golden 22 on Twitter. He says, there should be a way to change classes for units, like in Awakening and Fates. Example is Azura from Spear User to Axe or Sword User. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that would be really cool, but they're already doing this with seasonals. I think they want you to pull different versions of them. Yeah. Like this is also a thing from other gacha. So there would be maybe too free-to-play friendly. Like it would just deter from pulling too much.
Gotcha. Yeah, it would be interesting. But like I said, it's the business model. They want you to pull for alternate colors or alternate Azuras. There's so many Azuras out there. All right, let's see. This one's interesting. This one's from Mr. Random Guy on Twitter. He says, hashtag FEH Podcast. I would love, from Fates, a capture minigame where you send out heroes when you are gone to capture the villains with gacha odds and maybe a price to send them out. We get some villains that are not Grand Hero Battle, so we get more characters not in the 5-star pool. So like something to do while you're not playing the game?
Repeat the question. I'm a little bit confused.
Oh, yeah, he's saying, okay, so he wants some sort of minigame where he could send out your heroes, like maybe some barrack heroes, or maybe your teams up top, and then you can go out and capture units with gacha odds. Or maybe a price, like maybe a currency. You pay like 10 sacred coins to send out a team and maybe you'll get something.
Sounds interesting. But again, it's getting units. It's getting units for free. Like when I heard capture, I immediately thought of the Super Famicom game 3H776, where you could capture enemies and steal their equipment, and you also recruit a couple characters that way. That was very interesting. I love that.
Yeah.
But that sounds also unlikely for this.
Yeah, it sounds cool on paper, but you got to think about it.
The series
maybe it costed orbs.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Sorry. The series prides itself on recruiting characters, right? And that's not really in here. Well, Absolutely. It's a gacha, they want you to pull characters, but it's a little bit disappointing because figuring out how to recruit enemies or allied units during battle in the main games is very nice, and so is the dialogue. But just due to the nature of what this game is, it's probably unlikely.
Yeah. I'm also reading in the comments. Let's see. What are you guys saying in the comments? Oh, Stephen Lee's talking about a St. Patrick's Day banner with all green units. Like what?
Well, St. Patrick's Day is a very and almost local. Like, it's big in the US, but not so much in non-Irish Europe. So that is a very rare. I don't think this is a thing in gacha, but I also didn't expect the June Brides event, and what else? Easter is also not that big in gacha. I expect Valentine's Day to be a thing, maybe White Day.
Yeah,
thing in Japan, which is like a month after Valentine's, and it's like the reverse, where like the women give.
I could totally see that. I could totally see Valentine's Day happening. That could totally be something.
Both
I think
Valentine's
it's localized enough.
Yeah, both Valentine's and White Day are very common events in the gacha, so that is coming. The first time because it was near launch.
Okay, this one's a good one. This one's from Durin, that guy Durin on Twitter. He says, hashtag FEH Podcast. One thing I think would really help in content is collaborations. Imagine events like Grand Hero Battles and Tempest Trials, but with characters from other series, such as Legend of Zelda, Xenoblade. Imagine doing a Bound Hero battle with Shulk and Rex.
So when
How do you feel about that?
When you said collaborations, I was thinking of completely different franchises that don't even belong to Nintendo, like they do in Smash Brothers, right? But It depends what you
Right.
ask. Some people want the games like this to stay more pure, and others want like collaborate everything because they want their favorite characters to be everywhere.
Right.
um, I don't have strong feelings on it, but if it makes people happy, why not?
I think that would be cool. It would take a lot of effort because then, like, if you get like a Link-bound hero battle, play against Link and Zelda for like 1 week, and you earn orbs, then you're gonna set the expectation that those characters are gonna be obtainable
Right.
at some time, and
That's
then that's
true.
the whole
And
thing of
another
fitting
problem
them
with
in.
another problem with collaborations like this, especially if it's like if it's a collaboration with some completely different publisher, then it always comes into question like this event actually, so that other people have a chance to get these units.
Yeah.
So that can definitely be a problem. But if it's just internal Nintendo, then sure, that's probably not that much of an issue.
Right, right. I mean, I think the idea is great on paper. It sounds awesome, but maybe we'll just get some more representation of other Fire Emblem games that are not really represented. Like, what's one Fire
Right.
Emblem game that doesn't have too many characters in Heroes right now? What's like the
Maybe-
least represented one?
Maybe, well, I think it's Stratia. That's the other one I mentioned in the last podcast. I mentioned
Yeah.
Radiant Dawn and this, and it has. This is where Reinhardt is from, by the way. Reinhardt and Olwen, they're from that
Yeah.
game. Reinhardt's popularity has never been bigger, right? Like this game has done a ridiculous job.
They totally did that on purpose, right?
I don't. Well, this was before Skill Inheritance, so I'm not sure they expected him to be that dominant. But anyway, so that's the game they are from, and it's a very, very interesting game with a really good story. That it's one of my favorite. I think it is my favorite Fire Emblem game, and the main lore of that game is not in here yet.
I've got to really try it. I've got to really try it. I mean, I just want, like, I hope that all the funds that Fire Emblem Heroes is generating ever since 2017, I hope that all those funds are kind of getting not just pushed into Fire Emblem 2018 for Nintendo Switch, but I really hope that it gets into like some either official localization of the older ones and re-released on Nintendo Switch or 3DS or something like that, so people can actually play the Fire Emblem games that haven't been released outside of Japan in a more, I guess, easier way than downloading an emulator and a patch or whatever. You know, I really wish that that's the case. What do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's going to happen sometime soon?
There's like we saw that with the genealogy banner with Sigurd, Deirdre, Arvis. We saw like very strong renewed interest in
Yeah.
those characters, the more classical old school Fire Emblem characters from older games. I mean, that game is from what 1996, and many fans of today have not remotely looked at it. And the stories back then were that game and Thracia. They are on the same continent, and the story is the world building is really nice. There's mature storylines, dark things happening to characters. And like a lot of the things people are asking for the plot, like it's really interesting, and I hope to see more of it. I hope that at least the main lord makes it into the game.
Oh yeah, no doubt. That would
I
be
digress.
really cool. All right, we're gonna take another couple questions and then we'll call it an episode. All right, this one's says this one's from Vaping Fennec. He says, Fire Emblem Podcast. Do you think we'll ever get a 1v1 or co-op in the game, like real time, other than arena? I think the current friends list is kind of useless at the moment. What do you think about that?
So what do you mean 1v1 in real time?
He was probably talking about like PvP.
So what they suggested in the survey, like that could be problematic because of connection issues, and how is Nintendo going to implement that? Like what about people who are just, when they are about to lose, disconnect out of, you know,
Yeah.
disrespectfully, and because they don't want that on their record and things like that. There's issues that it can get pretty problematic. What do you think?
I like the idea. Remember when Voting Gauntlet wasn't even a thing and we had this like empty space in the corner of the screen? Everyone was saying, oh yeah, dude, it's confirmed it's PvP, right? So like we didn't get it, and I kind of like the way that it's not PvP right now, because I don't like turtling. I don't like people who just turtle the whole time and just like, oh, wait until you get into my enemy range and then I'll attack you. And then it's like, it's just nonstop, this game of like stalemate. So I kind of don't, I like the game how it is. But if they do decide to do something like that, I'll support it, I guess. I don't know.
Imagine if there was also Fog of War, which is also not a thing in this game yet, but maybe will be.
Fog of War.
Map and you can't even there's darkness around you. You can't see the enemies.
I hate those maps, man. I lost many a unit to those maps. I had to soft reset every time. Okay, another one. Yeah, at girlsplat123 says, "What about a Mario crossover?"
That goes back to the previous question. I mean, sure, but I think that fits way less than Link would. The Zelda franchise.
Right. All right, well, I think that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for coming out. All of you guys listening, all of you guys watching, you guys are great. Thank you so much. We will jump back into another podcast. If you guys want to see it, if you guys want to support the podcast, definitely smash the like button, share the video with a friend, and we're going to go from here. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. If you guys want to continue to join in on the conversation, feel free to use that hashtag on Twitter, hashtag FEH Podcast. Go take a look at Roman. He does a lot of awesome builds on the wiki, so go check that out, especially when this banner releases. Pretty sure there's going to be tons of builds for all skill levels and all budgets. Right, Roman?
The confidence of Gala. Oh man, yeah, I will work. I will ask some other people to take care of it if I don't make it. Yes, thanks.
Yes, I'm just putting the workload on him. No, it's a good resource. So if you guys are looking to get into Fire Emblem Heroes, more than casual, maybe stepping up your game a little bit, definitely to spend some time on the wiki. It's super good. I use it all the time to look up stats and whatnot. So Roman, thanks again for coming on board. It's a pleasure having you.
It's absolutely my pleasure. It's great to do this and answer questions. I love it. See you guys.
All right, shoutouts to Roman's team for helping come up with some bullet points, and all of you guys that watch. So thank you. Looking forward to reading all of your comments. Looking forward to seeing how you guys use hashtag FEH Podcast online. Stay tuned for another episode if you guys want to see it. We'll see that. All right, so that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys can indeed watch even more Fire Emblem Heroes by clicking on screen over here, checking out the newest video on my channel there, and of course, recommendations this way. Make sure that you guys are subscribed for even more Fire Emblem content. We got tons of Let's Plays from Nintendo 3DS. And of course, once that Fire Emblem 2018 game comes out, oh my gosh, we're going to be playing that. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for submitting your questions. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.